An upcoming online course is helping to give high schoolers a chance to officiate basketball games. I visited with one of the Eastern Maine Basketball Board 111 officiating board members to learn more about the program and need for referees. There's a Junior International Association of Approved Basketball Officials online rules course coming up from February 24th to the 27th for Knox, Waldo, Hancock, Penobscot, and Piscataquis County high schoolers who'd like to be basketball referees.
We've had 51 games that were covered by a solo official because there was no one else available, and 35 games that were either postponed or canceled because there was no one available. We need more people to get involved.
A mechanics workshop after the online course wraps up the training with multiple stations for students.
All the procedural things that the normal fan doesn't notice, but we go through this training. It's critical, right, when you're out there with your partner, that you have proper mechanics.
Conoyer is joined on the board by Sean and Derek Cunningham, David Ames, Heath Como, Lon Bagley, Chris Barstow, Mark Bridgham, Dennis Farnham, and Ben Sawyer.
We'll start you out with 3rd and 4th grade, right? We try to ease you into it. I also make the commitment to those junior officials that either myself or another veteran official that volunteers for it will sit courtside. That way, if anything weird happens or very unique or unusual, they'll be there to help talk them through it.
Reach out to your local athletic director or visit our website for a copy of the course flyer with a registration QR code and contact information for Conoyer.